Alright guys, so we got a Toyota Corolla. I got a code for cylinder 1 misfire, which is this cylinder right here. These are your coil packs. I got a misfire for this cylinder. So it could be two things. It could be the spark plug that's going bad, or the coil pack itself is going bad. So what I'm going to do is put a new spark plug in there, see if that solves the problem. If it doesn't solve the problem, then this coil pack right here is going bad. I'm suspecting the spark plug, however. Also it needs a belt, drive belt, so I'm gonna replace that belt as well. It needs an oil change, and I'm gonna check the air filter. Everything else should be fine. It's got antifreeze, so let me get to it and swap that spark plug and see what's going on. Need a 10. It's really easy to take out. You just pull that 10 right there. Once you pull that 10, there's a little clip right here. You just squeeze it. Then you got the low-end cars out there making noise. That's not gunshot, guys. It's just the Ford Mustang making a lot of noise. I guess that's the in thing now, to make the cars make noise. Anyway, give me a second, let me get a tool so I could squeeze this clip. Alright, so I use the pliers. So now it's, you know, squeeze this thing right here and pull it off like that. So once you pull it off like that, you pull that bolt. It's a 10mm bolt. This is a Toyota Corolla. So most of these newer Toyota Corollas, it's gonna be the same way, 4-cylinder. And then you just take this out. So once I take this out, that's the coil pack right there. It's really hard to tell when a coil pack is good. You know, you could test it with a meter, but easiest way is just to take that spark plug out. There's a spark plug down in that hole. You can't really see it, but it's down there. Take that spark plug out, and then I'm gonna put a new one in there, see if the problem goes away. If the problem goes away, then that means this coil pack is good. If it doesn't go away, we just have to replace that coil pack. Alright, so because this car has a lot of mileage on there, it's like almost 200,000. I'm gonna just change all the spark plugs, and then if we have a coil pack issue with this one, I'm just gonna change all the coil packs. So stay tuned, let me take that spark plug out. Alright guys, so we're gonna use a swivel. That way we can take it out real easy. Alright, so see, that's how you take it out. Alright guys, so what I did was I swapped around the coil packs. So I'm gonna see if the problem moves to the next cylinder. If it doesn't move to the next cylinder, then I know it's the plugs. So let me go test drive it again and see. Alright guys, so I'm driving the car, testing it, checking the codes. I got a cylinder 1 and a cylinder 4 misfire. So what I did, I swapped the coils around to different cylinders, and the problem is still at the same cylinder. So that's telling me the coils are good. It's the spark plugs that's bad. So I went out and bought me some spark plugs, the original that goes in there, Nippon Denso, and then I got me a belt, drive belt, and also I have the air filter and stuff in the back. So I got the air filter, I got the I got the oil and the oil filter. So I'm just gonna do a quick tune up on it, guys. Let me show you. Yeah, so I got the spark plugs and the belts. Spark plugs and belts. And I have the oil and the filter in the back. And the air filter. So it's a quick tune up. So I'm gonna do from oil filter, air filter, and I got me some Castrol GTX high mileage. I do 5W30 because it gets cold here in Georgia, like almost freezing temperature. So it's always good to get an oil that can handle both cold temperature and hot temperature, because it's hot sometime and it's cold sometime here in Georgia. So yeah, so we're gonna do air filter, change the spark plugs that goes down in here. These are the coil packs, and then I'm gonna do the belt. If you notice the belt right here, the drive belt, if you look right there, you see it, the cord is showing, so it's almost, you know, it's old. So we're gonna put a new belt on there. All right, guys, let me go get started on this real quick. Give me a second. Alright, so let's start with this. Alright, so first we take all the screws out. So today I'm going to show you how to change spark plugs on a Toyota Corolla, pretty much. For all who just are joining the video. So you take the screws out, unhook the plug, and then we're gonna take the coil pack out. So that's the coil pack. Alright. So these are the spark plugs. I got the original OEM recommended ones, which is Denso. They call them Denso. Alright. So most Toyotas use this brand, not NGK. Well, you could put NGK in there, but this is the recommended one for Toyota, right? You could use Toyota or NGK for Japanese. Autolite and all those other ones is for like American vehicles, right? So Autolites and AC Delco, those are American. So took the coil out. I'm going to use this. This uses a 14 mil socket. Take it out. These plugs are much smaller than the normal spark plugs, so find the right one and screw it like that. And once you unscrew it and it's loose, then this doesn't have the little rubber thing in there, so you can't pull the plug up with this. So what I do, I use this to pull the plug up out of the hole. See, that's how you do it, right? Grab a new one. So it comes. You gotta take this thing off. Remember to take that off at all times. Make sure you got the right plug. It's the same plug. Okay. It's got the same part number and everything. 16HR11. See, 16HR11. That's the code that's on there. And then just make sure the tips are good, they're not bent in or anything for some reason. And we're gonna put the plug down in the hole. I like to kind of don't drop it down in there, but just ease it down in there so it doesn't drop and hit the tip, because if you hit the tip you could dent it, and then what that does is closes the gap, so you'll get a different spark. You know, the spark won't be as how it's supposed to be from factory. So drop that down in there, hand tighten it with your hand, and then what you do is when you tighten this, you just snug it up. You could go with the manufacturer's specifications and torque them. You're supposed to torque them, but I just do it by feel. There's a crush washer on each one, so once you tighten it and just give it that extra, you know, like that, it's good. Right, you don't want to be cranking on it. With the plugs, they come with a little crush washer. You see that little washer that's on it? When you tighten it, it tightens out, and you tighten it and it crushes. So once it crushes it, that's it. Don't try and tighten it no more. You'll feel that little, you know, crunch. So that's how I do it, hand torque, you know. But if you don't know what you're doing, or you never done this before, look up the specifications and torque it properly. Don't be doing what I do, you know. So this is what the old one looks like. Unfortunately, you can't tell when a spark plug is old. Inside of it, it'll break down inside of it and stop sparking, or don't spark as how it's supposed to spark. A lot of times the tip on here, the little tip on here, is burnt out, it's burned down. On these it's not, but there's no way of telling when they're bad. Pretty much sometimes they get burnt right here in the, you see burnt marks right here, or the tip is gone. So it's hard to tell when a spark plug is no good. It's a service item. You just got to change it every, you know, couple thousand miles, 30,000, somewhere there about, you know, 30 to 60. Some cars you'll get 60 out of it, but I would recommend doing it at 30. That way you'll always have your car running, you know, in good shape. Air filter, and so you change like every other oil change, you know, just check it. If it's dirty, you change it. If it's not, you could let it run, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna move on to the next one. Same deal. Alright, so I'm gonna clear the codes. So where it says clear codes, erase codes. So we're just gonna clear them real quick and then go for another drive and make sure there's no codes there, you know. So right now we were getting cylinder 1 and cylinder 4 misfire. So let's see if we solve that problem. So pretty much what happened is I got cylinder 1 and cylinder 4 misfire, right? And then I swapped the coils around to see if the problem would move to cylinder 2 and 3. When I swapped the coils around, it didn't change. We still get the same problem for the same, you know, cylinder. So that's telling me the coils wasn't the issue. If the coils was the issue, the problem would have moved when I moved the coil, you know what I'm saying? So because it didn't move, I'm suspecting spark plugs. So I changed all the spark plugs. We're gonna drive it again, see what's up. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so I just got the coil packs in. Original Densa coil packs. I also ordered the fuel injector. A set of fuel injector. It's for pretty much this car. So what happened is I changed out the spark plugs yesterday. Still doing the same thing. I moved around the coil packs, still doing the same thing. So I'm suspecting the coil that's giving the issue. It's going to be either the coil or the injectors. At this point it's kind of hard to tell which one, because one coil is giving an issue and I'm moving it to the next one and it's still doing it. So I don't know if the computer picks up a problem and then puts it into limp mode and then it starts to misfire, right? So at the end of the day, it'll say cylinder 1 and cylinder 4 misfire. When I move those parts to another cylinder, the problem didn't move to the other cylinder, but yet still when you reset the code, the car drives fine. So if it was something mechanical that's bad, then it wouldn't, when you clear the computer, the codes and everything, it still wouldn't drive good, you know what I'm saying? So once I clear that code, it ends up driving good. So I shouldn't say it's not anything mechanical. So what it is the computer, the car picks up a mechanical issue that happens while we're driving, and then what it does, it puts it into limp mode. That's probably a better way to explain it. And then it shuts down one of those cylinders, and then it makes it seems like it's misfiring when it's you know what I'm saying, when it's the computer that puts it into a misfire mode. It's hard to explain, guys, but here what I'm now. I just gotta put those new coils in and see if it solves the problem. If not, I'll change the injectors as well. Let's see. So give me a few more, take those out and change them up. So give me a few. I'm gonna set you up right here so that way you could see what I'm doing right there. All right. Alright, so all I'm going to do is just swap these coils out, and then we'll see which one, or if that's the issue. So we'll put this in and drive it down the road, and then we could tell if our problem is solved or not. Alright, let's go drive and see if this solves the problem. First, I'm going to hook this up to the OBD2 port so we could scan it and see if there's any codes in there. So I'm going to do is clear all the codes if there's any in there. It's showing that there's none in there so far. So, and then I'm going to take it down the road. There's a specific way that when I drive it, guys, once I drive it that way, it guarantees that code come on. So if I go to the end of the road, stop at the light, make a right, it goes off right away. It makes the code come on. I guess that pattern of driving triggers whatever makes the check engine light come on, and then it starts misfiring. So let me go down the road real quick and test it, and then we'll see. make the right turn and go down the road, it normally just go into limp mode. So let's see. I go down here, it'll go into limp mode. Check light, right, see, check light came on. So right away, that didn't solve the problem. So I'm just gonna go back and change all the coil packs and see if the coil pack makes a difference in terms of fixing the problem. So stay tuned, let me go back and change. Alright, so I'm gonna swap around a coil and see something. Alright guys, so I'll swap them out real quick. So let's go test it again. As I said guys, once I reach to the top of the street, it normally cuts out. So let's go test it again and see. Let's hope this solves the problem guys, because I'm running out of options here. I changed the plugs, the coil pack, and I changed the injectors. The issue was centered around all those three. I know it's not a cylinder issue because the car drives fine. Once the check light comes on, it goes into limp mode. It's not giving me any other codes, so I don't know. The only codes it's giving me is for cylinder 1 misfire and cylinder 4 misfire, and I changed everything that's related to those misfires right here. So let's see. When we go around this corner, we'll see if it comes back up. Oh, the school bus got us, so we weren't able to. I might have to go around and do it again. I do feel a little bit of skipping. I'm not sure. This don't fix the problem guys, there's something else that's causing it. I'm not sure what else would cause it, but obviously there's something else that's causing this issue. So far, oh yeah, it came back. So right now I have no idea what needs to be changed guys. I'm running out of options here. And once I turn the car off, turn it back on, it goes away. So hold on 2nd guys, I'm gonna make a call. I have a friend of mine that maybe know what's going on, so let me call him real quick. It's the next day. I'm still working on this car. Remember the car I was working on the spark plug, doing the spark plugs and coil pack. It turned out to where it had a misfire, cylinder 1. So I thought it was the spark plug and coil pack. So after swapping them around, I realized the problem didn't move to the next cylinder. For you car guys out there who know what I'm talking about, when you move, if you have an issue with one cylinder, you move the coil pack over, and then if the problem moves to the next cylinder, you know that's the part that went bad. So I pretty much thought it was plugged, thought it was coiled, did a check on it, swapped out the plugs. Problem was still there. So I was thinking maybe it's the injector. I noticed whenever we got the misfire, the injector stopped working. So the injector is right here. I noticed there was no pulse to the injector whenever it started doing it. Anyhow, it was weird because when I clear the codes in the car, it starts working fine. Car drives good, everything. Soon as you go up the road, get on it a little bit, and then come to a stop, move off again, code comes right back for cylinder 1 misfire. Anyhow, whenever it does that, this injector stop pulsing, clear the codes, works fine. So obviously it's picking up something. I'm not sure what it is. There's no other codes. Maybe you guys probably come across this problem. It's a 2015 Corolla. I've never seen this before. When you clear the codes, it runs fine. As soon as you get on it, comes back, it shuts down injector 1. Injector 1 stop firing and starts misfiring. So I tried a set of coil packs, that didn't do it. Change the injector, that didn't do it. Start throwing a bunch of parts at it, that didn't fix it. Check the fuel pressure just to make sure fuel pressure is fine. Even when I'm driving down the road and it starts to misfire, the pressure is still the same. So that tells me the fuel pump is good. So right now I don't know if it's a computer issue. I'm thinking it's a computer issue, where the computer is just shutting it down once it goes under load. It could be another sensor somewhere, but I'm not getting a code for it. So I can't keep changing all the sensors like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't return them. So this one, I think I'm gonna have to just take it to the dealer and have them, maybe their computers will be able to see something I'm not seeing. So as I said, I tried everything, all the maintenance stuff, coil pack, plugs, injector, tried all of those. Mass airflow sensors working. No, a lot of this might not make sense to you guys because whoever is watching might not know anything about mechanics. If you do have a few mechanics out there that's watching, they'll probably know what I'm talking about. However, I tried a bunch of stuff. This one is bigger than me, guys. There's a point where you try everything and you can't really keep throwing money into parts that's not fixing your problem. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of weird though, because once you let the car once you reset those codes, car works fine, drives fine, no misfire. If you drive, you take your time and drive the car, it'll be fine. But once you get on it a little bit, 50 miles per hour, and then you come to a stop, when you move off and give it gas again, that's when it triggers something and puts it into a limp mode. I'm believing that's what it's doing, or it's actually shutting down injector number 1. It stops firing, it stops sending pulse to that injector, and then it starts misfiring. So I narrowed it down to that, but I don't know why it's doing that. That's the issue. So I'm gonna just put everything back to how it was. I had my fuel pressure gauge hooked up to it, so I'm gonna put it back together and probably take it to the dealer. I also did a compression check for all those who know about everything. I check everything physically. As I said, my computers, they might not be able to read everything that the dealer will be able to read. So maybe they could put their computer on there and see something else. I'm not sure. So with that being said, I'm just gonna put it back together and we'll probably take it to the dealer for a diagnostic and see if they see anything. Anyhow, stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna close this one out. I'm gonna call this one car repair or something, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna close this one out and then move to the next.